Most people in this room are carrying that kind of baggage around. How can you do anything with that kind of negative shit on your back? And Sally and I, having lived in India, have seen more stuff on a bicycle than that. How can you possibly with that kind of baggage? And who gives you your baggage? Well, you give yourself your baggage, but the people that teach you how to do it are your parents. American symbols of manhood, from G.I. Joe to Pajama Boy. What the fuck happened? What the fuck happened? Men back in the days, men today. Now, this is a real deal. I have a mentee in Paris, France. There's a club there where once a month they come and beat each other to try to beat the pussiness out of them. For real. He's a property developer. He's a property developer. If love got the job done, most parents would have produced high performance. It doesn't. Who prays the most? Poor people. How is their program worked out? 87% of the world is unhappy. This is before Corona. Unhappy, according to Gallup. I'm surprised it's only 87%. Life expands and contracts with courage through pain. And what's the biggest thing that you try to avoid? Pain, confrontation, right? I made a statement, a political statement. I had my first political meeting a few days ago, and I said that politics is a blood sport, and I'm looking to make people bloody. I'm looking forward to the confrontation. He's the guy that beat me like a rented mule. Naval Air Force. And that's not too much of an exaggeration, but he looked like me growing up. When my mother wanted me to do something, well, I'm going to have to get your dad involved. Stop it, Mom. Just explain to me exactly what you want me to do again. Because he's the last person I wanted to get involved in any disciplinary shit or anything he could use as an excuse to discipline me. And he always used to say, this is hurting me more than you. I felt like, you're full of shit, old man. But I would never, ever, ever talk to him that way. I would never, ever, ever raise my hand to him. Never. He was an extraordinary man, but oops. I'm indebted to my father for living, but to my teacher for living well. Alexander the Great. We are shackled by our dad's sins. When one has not a good father, one must create one. Children begin by loving their parents. After a time, they judge them, and rarely ever do they forgive them. If you think your kids have forgiven you, give me some of that shit. Let me get high with you. And as they get older, they know you fucked them up. And they won't buy off on, I did the best I can, and you don't know what you don't know. It's easier to build strong children than repair broken men. Frederick Douglass. Being entirely honest with oneself is a good exercise. We are never so defenseless against suffering as when we love. I cannot think of any need in a childhood as strong as the need for a father's protection. I could give a whole lecture on single parenting and how it's supposed to work like two parents. That's a load of hot cock. And I take my hat off to the gals, who are mostly the single parents, that do it, but it's not the same. Now, there I am. Sally says I have an arthritic back for this reason. For the last 28 years, and there's a black, an Asian, and a white guy I'm carrying across the goal line. Because I am the best on the planet for getting you to do what you don't want to do to have what you want to have. There's no motherfucker that walks the earth since fucking Christ that knows how to do that better than me. And I got the numbers that show it. I thought I was going to create $1 trillion in 5-10 years, maximum. Took me 23 years. I didn't realize what a rare commodity self-esteem was. I didn't know that. I didn't do my research well enough. What this program is really, it's the psychology of the high performer. Again, Success leaves clues. I used to do not a test, but I used to ask questions. How many of you think you have, and we list 10 traits of Steve Jobs, and we'd ask the audience, and I don't know, they were delusional. And some of them thought they had 7 or 8 of the traits of Steve Jobs. They didn't have one. Not even a half of one. The good news is Warren Buffett, Zuckerberg, Elon, Jeff are all introverts, just like you. The high-performance alpha males like me are less than 0.5%. 98% of the high-performance people on the planet are introverts, just like most of you in this room. Introverts, just like you in this room. That's the good news. QLA during Corona, 5 things. God has given me 5 things. My wife, 3 lovely children, and Corona. Those are the 5 things I got in life. I've been blessed. Motherfucking Corona is the greatest thing that's ever happened to me in my 76 and a half years. I made more money during Corona with my thumb up my ass and one up my nose than I did in the 80s when I ripped the bones out of the planet. I cut their throats and left them for fucking dead. That's how much easier it is now. Because the dipshits out there are more afraid than you. Which is a commentary on why we're through as a species. But since you don't worry about 2142, you got all the time in the world to make fucking tons of money. And again, money's not everything. But I guarantee you it'll change every person in this world, in this room's life. And then if you want to go save the world, God be with you. Allah be with you. Whoever the fuck be with you. I've had the privilege, $1 trillion, a million millionaires. I mean, I live vicariously by you trying to change the world. But I'm going to tell you something. My experience is most of you, once you get rich, fuck the world and the horse she rode in on. Believe me, you won't give a fuck about oxygen. Fuck everybody. But see, you got no money, so you don't know that. I do. Nobody gives a shit about it's sad. But nobody gives a shit. If global warming is for real, 2/3 of the planet is going to be gone. Adios, motherfucker. Gone. You get it? Best case scenario is 3 meters, 10 feet. Worst case scenario is 30 meters, 100 feet. 10 feet, New York, Florida, all gone. Los Angeles, all gone. Central America, most of Mexico, all gone. Most of Europe. Is anybody doing anything about it? No. Because it's a load of hot cock. If the real cost of oil was published, oil would go to 5 cents a barrel from the Middle East. If the real amount of reserves Saudi Arabia has were published, oil would go to 5 cents. The only reason we have electric cars, thank God for Elon Musk, he put his foot up the ass of the automobile industry. Don't you realize we've known for 65 years that you can put a rocket up and take it down again and use it again? And Elon's the first guy to do it. The aerospace industry hate him. They hope he dies. For 45, 50 years, they were double, triple billing us. You get it? It's fucking ill-informed and fucking stupid. I mean, and that's why the aliens supposedly were here in the 50s, went to Washington, well, any of that's true. And they said, forget about it. This species is not worth saving. And we're not. Don't you fucking get it, you fucking meatheads? We produced this 3 years ago because you're so retarded. And yet, we get phone calls every day. I'm looking in the index. QLA and it's free. All my shit's free, right? Where do I start? Come on. And I do this for free. Well, believe me, I've had thousands of them like that, believe me. QLA for Dummies. These tests only have for legal reasons, we say they only have a 95% success ratio. That's a lie. They have 99.5%. But for legal reasons, so I don't get sued, we say 95. Metaphorically speaking, you should almost everybody in the room. Vis-a-vis creating generational wealth. If you're fat, dumb, and happy, like, well, you're fat, you look dumb, I don't know if you're happy or not. These tests are, for your purpose, 100% accurate. 100. Now, I normally turn to, EJ, what are our ratios now? 2 or 3 years ago, he says, we have 96.5% fail, Mr. Peña. This is 2 or 3 years ago. And I said, okay, EJ, now, we have over 99% fail, Mr. Peña. 99% of the people take the test, metaphorically, should. Some of you in this room should be institutionalized. You should have a paddy wagon. You can thank your parents for that. But you can overcome fear by positive experiences. You can. And that's why one of the things on my side is, what have you done to scare yourself today? What have you done to scare yourself? Now, I say this because I laugh. Some of you, it's asking the girl out for a coffee. Some of you, just day-to-day living shit, you know. Some of you are so afraid of the outside world you can't get out of your house. You've read about people like that. But it's you. It's not somebody else. And I've done a lot of crazy shit. And that's why I continue to do a lot of crazy shit. But it's hard, you know, that's why I got run over by a buffalo and all this crazy shit that I've done. But you've got to do it. You've got to follow the program. You follow the 7 steps. But this program is not like Alcoholics Anonymous or Narcotics Anonymous. You know, you come in. My name's Dan Peña. I've been sober 2 years and 1 month. Then I come in the next meeting. My name's Dan Peña, and I slipped, and I've got 15 hours sobriety. And then they all come up and they jelly roll you. They hug you. Well, this ain't the motherfucking jelly roll program. Fuck you, bitch. If you slipped, get the fuck out. This is not the jelly roll program. This is, I'm on board, pull up the motherfucking gangplank and you drown program. Because that's the real motherfucking world that I come from. And nobody's ruled that world better than this psychopath old man in the last 28 and a half years. What gets measured gets accomplished. If you go and give those tests to your employees, half of them will quit the first week. The other half will hang around trying to get a job someplace else. True self-esteem has to be earned. Now, when I started, the word quantum was a rarity, but now everybody uses it. From the barrio bad boy to the queen on the right. And the reason I keep doing this for free, and I was thinking about the first, because I started out for free. I used to go to grammar schools in East LA, junior high schools in East LA, high schools in East LA. I used to give this seminar free at the airport, LA airport, 700-800 people. Because I want to show that the kids from the hood, you can start with no money, and you can change your life and make a lot of money. But you don't believe it. And so then as we added meatheads and teenagers and 15-year-old multimillionaires, and you've got a reason for all my success stories. You've got a reason why Josh Kim is a Michelangelo, really. And you've got all these reasons to show because you have no self-esteem. Or you've got age. Oh, God, I wish I could have met you 20, 25 years ago, Mr. Payne. Oh, I've been doing this. I was around. You didn't look too hard. The oldest success story we have is 77. The youngest is 13. And you're not here because I met these presidents or these, and I'm not making light of the presidents. The most presidential president I ever met was Nixon, though, or the various secretaries of state, or the prime ministers and all these dipshits that I met. You're here because I've been able to create wealth for a lot of people. And we're in the best position monetarily of any of the other countries. And remember I said last summer there was a black swan coming. The markets have retracted between 25 and 40% since that time. I said it was coming. I used to have a thing on my website, the big tsunami, that was going to crush your little fucking balls and take your little 401ks and making them evaporate. Remember that? And that's exactly what the fuck's happened. I'm the only cocksucker that predicted negative oil on the 7.86 billion people on this fucking planet. Me. No one else. Minus $37 a barrel at Cushing's in Oklahoma. And I've been there. What a shithole. Makes Omaha look like New York City.